All right, 5 minutes. All right, if you can't hear me, you might want to log off and on. So if there is a little audio glitch, I am somewhat talking. All right, thank you guys for coming on early, because that way I can get our attendance taken and we can get started quickly. I see Heather's having some issues, technical issues. But everyone else is looking good on my end. So excellent. All right. So we will give Heather a chance to come on. I can see she's been trying. All right. Let's see if you can stay this time, Heather. All right. Fantastic. All right. Let's get started. Okay. All right. Welcome back to the fall semester, right? There wasn't much of a break between summer and fall. So welcome back. And I will let you know that today's class isn't going to be super long. It's a beautiful day. We are still, we still have 1 week left of, summer before Labor Day. So I'm going to make this pretty straightforward and quick for tonight. Give an overview, expectations. We'll do some brief introductions, and then we will kind of hit the ground running next week. So yeah, so we're gonna make it very short and concise, so we can get you out of here fairly early tonight. Let's start right off. Yeah, let's start right off with lecture. I'll stop. I'll give you an introduction of myself at one point, and then I'll let you guys do an introduction as well. So let's kind of get into a little bit of expectations, right? So the syllabus, right? Who here has not looked at the syllabus yet, or has not at least downloaded it? Okay, so that's something that you're going to want to do, and pay special attention to the calendar that's on page 2 of the syllabus, I believe. So that calendar is what's going to give you all of the exam, all of the due dates, all the homework dates, what we're going to cover, all of that. So that's going to serve as your resource for due dates. Right. These notes that we're going over today, right, are in the content area for each week. And what I go through in lecture is going to serve as the foundation for most of the quiz and exam material. So, you know, the books are kind of geared towards students that are traditional, they're in the classroom. You know, you guys are out in the workforce, you've lived life, you understand marketing from a consumer standpoint. So I don't follow the textbook topic by topic. I kind of go through, I pick the things that are most pertinent to us as adult learners, and then put it into the PowerPoint, and that's what we use for our exams going forward. So if you guys are here, so you are good to go. But if you're not here for a lecture and you want to listen to the class recording, right, it's available in the discussion board. It's labeled lecture. It kind of goes through how to get to it, just like here. So just know that it's, or if we go fast or you have questions on something that we might have covered and want to go back and listen again, right, class recordings are available to you. We will have homework every week other than exam weeks, midterm and final exams. So the homework is also in that content folder, and it's just titled homework. So this week, the homework is just a couple of real general questions. I like to go through and make sure that everyone understands expectations and due dates, is reading the syllabus effectively. So this homework for this week is there, but it's just, again, touching base. Starting week 2, though, I want you to pick a company that you are interested in, or it could be the company that you work for or have worked for. And that's what you're going to use to answer the homework questions at the end of each week's PowerPoint, is where the questions are. So you're going to use that one company for all of the homework here forward after week 2. Okay. Any questions on any of that? Make sense so far?
No questions.
All right. Oh, yes, Carolyn, I will, absolutely. And that is actually what I'm going through right now, participation, right? So participation, if you are here, then you are good to go for your participation points. So every week is 24 points except for exam weeks. So you're here the entire time. I will go through and mark out those points for the week. If you do not attend lecture, right, so if you do not attend class on Thursday nights, then you go into the discussion board and post 3 separate days, 2 times per day. So I have a little bit different posting than a lot of the other classes. And part of that is because I went to school the same way you guys are going to school, right? I obtained my associates, my bachelor's, my master's, and my doctorate, all while working full-time as an adult. So I know what you guys are going through, right? You've worked all day, or maybe you've been, with your kids all day or whatever, but you're sitting down now, and it is hard to sit for 3 hours now and try to listen to someone talk and we're separate, right? It's not like we can even go out into physical groups or get up and move around as part of our, so I get where you guys are. So I prefer a more conversational tone rather than a monologue. So a lot of other teachers say, okay, we want three posting days, one post of a minimum of 250 words. And here's what I say: I don't want 250 words. We don't monologue in the business world, right? We converse in the business world. We inquire. We make short statements. We are concise in our communication. And that's what I expect from you as well. So that's why I require 2 posts per day, because I want you to be more conversational rather than monologue. So yeah. Yeah, I am strict on the 3 separate days for posting. Yeah, because that's a Lakeland thing. But here is a little asterisk from that. So I like you to listen to the lecture recordings. So if you would go to the discussion board right now, one of the beautiful things about being at home, right? So, you can open up a tab, go into the discussion board and go to week 1 discussion, which is titled, August 31st to September 6th, right? And there's a thread called lecture, and it tells you how you can listen to the recording. Well, in that, I will give you 2 posting credits, or I'll give you a posting day credit for that, because I encourage you, I'd like you to listen to lecture and how things go. So in essence, that kind of, you could do 2 days and then do the lecture, and the lecture is going to count for your 3rd day. So there's a little asterisk on those, that how strict I am. So if you listen to lecture, you can get by with two posting days, 4 posts, and then the lecture. Now, if you guys come to class, but you're going to be more than 15 minutes late, or you need to leave early, right? So you're not attending the entire lecture, then I'll probably have you do a couple of posts, 1 or 2 posts, in order to make up for that time. So if you're going to be late or have to leave early, still come to class. I love it when you come to class and we can have a good discussion. So don't let that deter you from coming. Just let me know that, hey, I'm going to be late, or I need to leave early, and I'll say, okay, go into the discussion board, give me 2 posts, and then you'll earn full credit. Okay, so yeah, so that's that. Now, I do not know, when you guys are looking, have any of you, if you guys open up the content folder and go to the actual content, right? Week 1 content, and look, and if you do the chapter 1 intro PowerPoint, are any of you getting that funky thing that's right here? I don't know what the heck this is. This is not on any of my forms. So I'm not sure what the heck that is and why it's there. So do you guys see that on your end? When you open up on the, not on yours? Yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on here. Oh, this is just weird. All right, so just ignore that. And I will just try to, oh, goodness. All right, I don't know. I mean, this is the same file that's in the week 1 content area, because that's where I uploaded from. So I don't know. But we'll look past that little gray boxes and we'll take a look at an overview of marketing, right? So here's where I'm going to divert a little bit from some of the textbook, because I like you to be able to apply what we are doing to your life, either on the personal side or on the business side, or if you're volunteering somewhere, I'd like you to be able to apply it somewhere. So when when we talk about marketing, right, we can just take a look at water, right? So just the simple concept of water and look at how marketing has changed, right? So I don't know, how many of you here have like and use like a reusable water bottle that's either metal or glass or plastic? Yeah. I would say that at least the majority do. It's very common, right, to have a reusable water bottle, right? Now I want you to think that, I know I'm with you too, Scott, depending on my mood, and I still end up reusing my Panera plastic one all the time. But okay, so I want you to think back 30 years ago. I know some of you aren't even 30 years old, right? But if you can kind of put your mindset into, okay, what would things look like 30 years ago? Do you think anyone used, a reusable water bottle 30 years ago, in a consumer standpoint? Yeah, how about 20 years ago? Yes, Carolyn.
Caroline.
Oh, Carolyn, thank you.
I would just say, like people probably didn't use water bottles, like reusable ones back then quite as much because they didn't know about like polluting and plastics in general. So that's the main thing. I would really only say people only use reusable water bottles because of like cost, would really be the only thing I could think of back then. Anyways, but end of thought.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, even we can even take a look at this. Did they use bottled water 30 years ago? It was bottled, did they go to the grocery store and buy cases of bottled water like we do today? Yeah, no. Yeah, we never did either, right? So from a marketing standpoint, what changed, right? So part of how the water industry changed is, first of all, we had just marketing towards drinking more water, right? Drinking more water. So what happened is we started to get not-for-profit health type organizations that were kind of like putting the word out that it's healthy for us to drink more water. So all of a sudden we had this, okay, we need to drink more water, and that kind of laid the groundwork for it. So then as more water was demanded, we used plastic bottles, right? We bought cases, right? Like Chris is saying, he worked at Nicolay Forest, that bottles water. So all of a sudden now there was a demand for bottled water, right? So as more and more companies, like Chris said with Nicolay, started coming on board, well, then now all of a sudden, we've got concerns from an environmental standpoint, like Caroline was saying, in terms of, okay, we've got all this plastic that's being used. So therefore, it fueled the need for having reusable water bottles. Now, reusable water bottles actually were in existence 30 years ago, but uh, who used reusable water bottles 30 years ago, do you think? Like, any of you guys watch sports 30 years ago, right? Sports teams, yeah, athletes used it. So the technology of a reusable water bottle isn't new. It's out there. It was already there for athletes. So what had to happen is the companies had to just make it more travel friendly, more adapted to a general consumer. Yeah. So all of a sudden, right, so we've got something as basic as water, and we can look at how it's changed over the last couple of decades and impacts, how are things going to continue to change? Okay. So for example, many colleges, and this was like over a decade ago, on the West Coast banned plastic water bottles from the college. So it was kind of this anomaly, right? Because they're saying drink all this water, but then they're saying, you know what, we're not going to sell bottled plastic bottles of water in vending machines anymore. And they didn't because they were using too many of them, right? People were buying too much bottled water and they were having all of this plastic problem. So it's kind of like we've got this marketing saying drink more water, and then now we've got colleges saying, well, yeah, we really don't want you to drink more water because we're not going to sell it anymore because we don't want to deal with the plastic. Yeah, so even out there on the West Coast, they did recycle, but they didn't want to deal with all of the bottles that they had to recycle. So they said, we're not going to sell water. We're going to sell soda, we're going to sell juice, but we're not going to sell water because people are buying too much water. So if you would be the marketing manager for, say, Dasani water, which is a Coke product, right? And all of a sudden, here goes your market, right? You're selling a lot to college campuses, and now all of a sudden, boom, nothing, right? So what do? Right? So if you're a really strong marketing company, you're on top of all of this. You take a look at what we call the external environment, and you're constantly monitoring trends. And that's where, we look at and say, how do we get these water coolers that you can just put your reusable water bottle under and it fills it up really nice? You don't have to press the button anymore, right? That type of product development comes from marketing and from looking at trends that are happening. And that's what we're going to do a lot of. So, we're going to stray from the textbook a little bit, and I'm going to challenge you on, okay, if this was in your, if you were the product manager here, how would you handle this? What might be the thought process that you're going to go through or start to look at? Okay. Now, marketing has shifted, right? Marketing kind of used to be this standalone department, and that's not the case anymore. It has evolved to the point that is now a very strong part of a company, a corporation strategic management, corporate strategy, and then marketing is now dealing with every other part of the organization in terms of that supply chain. So they're dealing with operations and manufacturing. They're dealing with any of the logistics in terms of shipping. They're in with the sales department if it's separated. They're in with finance because finance has to be part of that component as well. So marketing is really crosses all areas of the organization. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to give you a brief introduction of myself, and then we'll kind of go back to a little bit more of what is marketing, setting the framework for next week, and then I'll stop and take some of you guys in terms of introduction. So from an educational standpoint, I did go to college right after high school, and found that it wasn't really for me. It just wasn't for me. I had worked all through high school as part of a family business, and so I was kind of a worker bee all through high school. Got into college, wasn't there, wanted to keep working. So I went to a year at the university and then stopped, went back to work, and then went back, got my associate's degree and in production management and operations, and then loved it. I was in a program that was with adults that were much older than I was, that were in their, at the time I was 18, 19. They were in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s that had come back to school. They were working full time, and so I got to hang out with these fantastic people who had all of this knowledge and was in an adult learning program that kind of really emphasized application and, here's the book and here's what we do in real life, and I loved it. So I got my associates, and then I just kept plugging along, same thing. Went on for my bachelor's, had these great people that I got to hang out with fellow students. Went to Concordia, got my bachelor's. I was living in the Milwaukee area at the time, and then went on to get my master's and my doctorate once I went into corporate America. So again, I get where you guys are at. And that's kind of my teaching objective, is to try to make it a little more personal rather than just book learning for you. That being said, I am not a spring chicken. I have been working for Lakeland for 27 years. Right? So I'm married, I have 2 kids, 16 and 21-year-old boys. And what happened on the corporate side is, I worked in mostly kind of sales, marketing, and then went into operations and really liked that at the factory level, and then went from operations back into marketing, but with an emphasis on international. The company that I worked for worked in the copper refining industry, which is kind of specific. It's a really kind of niche market in that respect. So there aren't a lot of copper refineries here there's none in Wisconsin. The closest copper refinery was in White Pine, Michigan. And then most of the other refineries were in Arizona, Texas, a little bit in Utah. But by far, most of copper refining is done outside of the United States. So I was in a position where I got to travel all over the world for a period of time, and which was fantastic. It was before I was married and had kids. However, once I got married and we started to have a family, traveling wasn't going to work out real well. So I left the corporate world and stayed home with my kids. And that's when I started working for Lakeland. So I've been here for a while. I typically teach in the graduate program. So I'm usually teaching graduate finance, marketing. I do marketing, and then corporate strategy. But finance and corporate strategy are my 2 base classes. So kind of an unusual, it's not too often you get an instructor that does finance and marketing, but that's because I have a finance background, and my MBA is actually in finance because I love numbers too. Right? So that's a little bit about me. You'll find I have a fairly casual style in terms of how we approach class. I'm very approachable, meaning if you have questions, please email me and ask. And you'll find that I'm usually pretty fast at getting back to you. If I happen to not be available for a period of time, I will always post it in the announcements area of Blackboard. So for example, I'm going out of town Saturday to Monday. So I'll be like, okay, I'm going to be out of town Saturday through Monday. So if you email me, just know it's going to take me a little longer to get back to you. So other than that, you'll find that I'm pretty fast. All right, let's go back to a little bit of lecture and kind of that overview of marketing and our foundation, what's called our 4 Ps. And then I'll come back and we'll do a chunk of introductions. We're going to look at a few YouTube videos tonight, and then we'll do some more introductions because we have a pretty nice sized group that's here tonight. So, all right. Okay, so what is marketing? So from a textbook standpoint, right, you guys can read, it is how we create, capture, communicate, exchange offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society. Right, so you can read that, but here's where we want to focus. We're going to focus on the word value and what that means, right? So how do we create value, which is difficult because what I value may not be what you value, right? So who here likes coffee? Like, you like coffee? Okay. So, like, Jade, when you're saying dirt water, is that like because you like really weak coffee, or like, yeah, I'm with you, Heather. I love coffee.
That is the exact opposite. It is
Okay.
like scooping dirt into water for me.
Oh, scooping dirt into water. Okay, so yeah, I love coffee. Right now, who here is like super brand loyal to Starbucks? Who here is super brand loyal to Starbucks? I'm not either. I'm not either. But now, here's the deal. Is Starbucks one of the best performing coffee franchises in the world? They are. Yeah, Starbucks is by far the leading coffee house in the world in terms of sales, in terms of reach, in terms of brand recognition, brand loyalty, right? So now we only have 15 of us here, actually 16 with me. You're right, it's the one you think of because they have very strong brand recognition. But, you know, I love coffee, but I don't find much value in Starbucks coffee. I'm not a sugar kind of person, and yeah, you know, I like flavored coffee too. I like McDonald's. I'm totally good with McDonald's coffee. It's gotten to be a little bit pricey for me. You know, I'm kind of cheap. You know that you know, you're gonna get that for me. I'm pretty frugal. So like I used to go to McDonald's all the time when I could use, you know, the app and I would get it for 99 cents, but now I have to pay $2 for coffee. So now I'm back to making it at home again, right? But obviously there's a lot of people out there who find value in Starbucks and their offerings, or they wouldn't be the success that they are now. So again, what is a value to me may not be a value to you. And what we do in marketing is we're gonna try to bring this structure around using what we call our 4Ps or the marketing mix. Those two terms are interchangeable, marketing mix and 4Ps. And what that stands for is product, price, promotion, and place. And we're going to go through that in more detail, right? And when we're looking at marketing, marketing happens everywhere. So if we look at, yeah, that's so funny. You're right. My grandmother had instant coffee all the time too. I grew up with my grandmother. So I started drinking coffee like at the age of 10 or 11 because, again, I grew up with my grandmother. It was very common to have instant coffee. And we would have instant coffee in the morning with buttered toast, like super buttery toast, and we would dip the buttered toast into our coffee. And that's how, as a 10-year-old, I started drinking coffee. So my grandfather's influence, yes, and it was instant. I don't remember if it was Folgers or not, but yeah. So from a marketing standpoint, it's everywhere, right? So if you work in manufacturing, you are marketing to maybe distributors or retailers. If you are a retailer, you're marketing to consumers. But in reality, manufacturers also can market directly to consumers as well, right? So we get Procter & Gamble, a manufacturer that markets directly to consumers. We know the supply chain goes this way, but the marketing goes this way. Our focus is going to be on the consumer kind of, you know, so we're not going to deal with a lot of the business practices of how they price and different price things. I'll let you know, I'll give you some of the terms, but our focus is going to be here on business to consumer. All right, so here's an overview of our 4Ps. Again, product, price, promotion, place. So product is just like it sounds. What are we exchanging? What is being given? What product or service is being received? Right, so again, thinking of that water concept, kind of put into your mind, right? So if you go and get a store branded water, I just used Kroger as an example, right? So Kroger would be around here, it's Pick and Save, Metro Market. Do you guys have any Kroger grocery stores where you guys live? Yeah, Pick and Save, Metro Market. I can't remember the next one. They own a bunch of different brands. Yeah. So Kroger, it's a brand. All right. Promotion is how do we communicate the value that that product is giving, right? So that is promotion. So think of promotion as communication. So like from Walmart's standpoint, it would be, the Sam's Choice or Great Value, right? That would be the same concept of a private branded water. Okay, so price, what price are we at the point where we are called capturing value? That the price matches the value being received by the market, right? And then place, think about place as the supply chain, as like that distribution end of it. So let's go into a little bit more detail on product and price, and then I'm going to stop us, and I'm going to have a few of you introduce yourself so we can break things up, right? So product, right? So how do we create value to the market with what we offer? Again, a product can be goods, services, it can be ideas, right? So if I'm an accountant, if I'm an investment banker, those are all products, right? And the basis of the product is how do we satisfy a customer's wants and needs, right? So let's just come back to the basic need. So just kind of like if you've ever gone through, a hierarchy, like a basic need is, what basic need does a bottle of water fulfill? So if you're going to get a bottle of water, why are you doing it? We might look at it that way. Why would you buy a bottle of water? To hydrate, right? So you might say that you're thirsty, right? So, and you buy it there because it's a convenience. So that's a place, right? So the product itself is satisfying the basic need of thirst, right? So you're thirsty, you need something to drink, right? Now, if you are looking at, like, say, Dasani water. So Dasani water is the brand of Coke, Coca-Cola's brand of water. Are all you guys familiar with Dasani and Perrier? Familiar with those brands? If you're not, again, one of the nice things is open up a quick tab. You can quick Google search it and take a look at it. And I'm sure that all of you have somewhere along the line seen Dasani brand. So, for example, Dasani is going to be at a little higher price because, again, it's a branded product, a little higher price. And then Perrier water is going to be even a little higher yet. Yep, so Pepsi owns Aquafina. Dasani is owned by Coke as part of their brand, right? So even higher. Now, before, right, you had basic water of 16-ounce water bottle. If you were to go into your local grocery store, your local Walmart, your local Target, wherever you would go, can you only buy 16-ounce bottles of water, or are there other choices? Yeah, so what are some of the other choices that we have? Like in what way? Yeah, there's fancy bottles, you've got your store brand. What if I didn't want 24 bottles of water? Can I get, yeah, different sizes, exactly, right? So if I didn't want 16, I can get sizes of smaller, right, little 8-ounce ones, or I can get larger. I can get 24 packs, I can get 12 packs, I can get single quantities, right? So Kroger has expanded their product offering to try to create greater value, because I might want 24, but Scott might want only 12, and I might want 16-ounce, but Caroline might want, a liter. So by expanding their product offering, they've expanded their value proposition. Let's talk about price, and then we'll hit those introductions, right? So price, again, all of this goes together, product, price. So price is, what does the buyer give up? Time, money, energy, and exchange at the basic level. For our point, we're not in a barter system, so most buyers give up money. And then when we look at like time and energy, it might be, is this something that has to be researched a lot? So the consumer's giving up time in order research to get into the actual purchase of the product, right? So think of it in that way. So in terms of water, it is pretty straightforward, right? Not a high margin, so how much are our customers willing to pay, and can a profit be made? Now, water is not a very profitable entity, right? It's not a high margin. So what is the price point for a typical 24 pack of private label water, like in your experience, if you go grocery shopping? Yeah, like right now you're gonna get it on sale, kind of the end of the season, where you can get like around here, I can get it for $2.99, $3 for a 24 pack if we're going out camping or whatever, for just the typical branded. Dasani is going to be higher than that, and Perrier is going to be even higher than that. What value do you think Perrier is bringing to the table that they are probably 3 times the price, 4 times the price, 5 times the price of a typical branded, store branded water? What do they provide that store branded water does not? What value are they providing? Yeah, part of it is the name, absolutely, right? Yeah, the bottles are differently. It's considered a luxury brand, a high class brand, prestige brand. It's got slightly different taste. You can get the flavors and all that. But yeah, they've marketed themselves as a prestige brand. Yeah, so they can all be at different price points, but they're still providing value to their target market, right? And that's where we're going to bring in and take a look at, okay, what's our target market? Because that's who we want to focus on. That's who we want to communicate to. And we don't want to waste any resources on trying to communicate with those who are not going to find our product of value. All right. So let's do a few introductions. So let's do the first 5 that are listed in the participant list, right? So if you take a look at our little people icon on the bottom, our 2 people icon, right? You'll see we have 14 participants plus me. So Angel's starting out, and then Angela, Caroline, Chong, and Chris. So we're going to do you 5 in order. And here's what I'd like to know from you. If you can tell me how far along you are in the program. Like, is this your first class? Are you about halfway done? Is this maybe your last class, right? And you're going to be graduating at the end of this semester, right? So kind of tell me approximately where you are in the program. And if you work out, if you can tell me either the company or the industry, right? If the company, if you don't want to tell me the company name, if you can just give me the industry, that would be great. So I see Angel is having some issues. So you know what? And here's the deal. If you can't audio, right? If you're maybe having some audio issues, it is fine for you to type in the chat and type your introduction as well. I'm fine with that. So let's start with you, Angela, and as we see Angel coming on. Okay, so Angela, either mic in or type. Angel, we'll come back to you. I wanted to give you time.
Yeah, so I'm Angela Gordon. I'm about halfway through my degree, but I have like 4 years yet to go because I only take one class a semester. I do work full-time for Agripure, which is a cheese manufacturer. and I've been in finance there for 15 years, and I used to work at a country club in finance for about 10 years too. So
Okay.
yeah. And I have a family, and I have 2 kids, both girls, who are starting school on Tuesday, and I can't wait.
We started school this yesterday. So yeah, we started early and it was nice as well. Awesome. Thank you, Angela. So Angel, let's pop back to you. And I don't know if you heard or not, but if you're having problems with audio, I'm totally fine if you chat it in. If you type in the chat, if that works better for you. Oh, poor Angel's having problems. All right, Caroline, let's move on to you.
Alrighty, I'll go. So I'm Caroline. I am technically a senior at Lakeland, but I've only taken one class at Lakeland so far. I took one class over the summer. I plan on graduating next summer or next fall. It really depends on like how I can handle the workload on when I graduate. I work full time right now at Mercury Marine. I kind of have like a niche job at Mercury Marine, and I run the wastewater systems and treat the wastewater before it goes to the city. I basically like remove heavy metals and impurities from the water and pre-treat water before it goes to the city to be treated again to be turned into drinking water. So that's what I do. I guess I'm not really sure what else to say.
Oh, that's great. Did you come from like Cardinal Stritch or something like that?
No, I have an associate's in lab science from Fox Valley Tech. Most of that transferred. I also had some credits from a few different colleges. I bounced around a little bit for like personal issues, and then my husband was like military, so
Yeah.
I've been to quite a few different colleges as well.
Okay.
I'm in the food quality and safety program currently.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Angel, you want to give it a try?
Yes, sorry about that. I keep losing connection. My name's Angel. This is my second year here at Lakeland. Technically a junior. I should be done by this summer, or sorry, next summer. I work the place where I work for the state of Wisconsin as a individual income tax auditor. Been there for 2 years, and it's put it this way: there's a lot of different tax always changes, so it's difficult, but yet very, you're learning as you go. It's been a huge learning curve for me, but it is very good. It's very, I've been learning a lot, and Lakeland has been helping me with adjusting with my career. So we usually do audits, like individual audits, and you don't really get that many, happy taxpayers, but we're doing a job. We're helping the state, and it's pretty much what I do.
Yeah. So what's your degree going to be in?
Accounting.
Okay, you're going through the accounting. Yeah, Lakeland has a really good accounting program. We've got a really good CPA program. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. John, what do you got?
Yep, so my name is Chong Bang. I've been with Lakeland for a couple years, kind of on and off. I've missed a couple semesters for personal reasons. But I'm planning to graduate in about a year and a half. I do about 2 classes a semester, but going for my computer science major. And I currently work full-time as an IT person at a Nestle Pizza, and I've been there for 13 or 14 years now. So.
Okay, IT. Awesome, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chris, let's finish with you for this round.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm an older dog, 64. I work at Old Wisconsin Sausage. Been there for 5 25 years. I was just recently promoted from being a QA technician to a supervisor, supervising all shifts and such. And back in the day, I worked pretty much 40 years in the food industry in quality management, research and development. I just thought, well, heck, I'm going to try to just max out my 401k here at Old Wisconsin, a nice family organization, and they wanted to promote me. So if they don't come and take me away with the straitjacket, like, and I'm taking 8 credits this semester. I started with Lakeland 2 years ago, and that was kind of like the beginning of the COVID thing.
Yeah.
And the online learning was a little bit different. Back in 2004, I obtained a quality management degree through Fox Valley Technical College. That program no longer exists. And prior to that, back in the early 1980s, 1984, I had an associate degree in food science technology. And in both cases, I was one of the older students when I jumped in there, and I liked it very much. I was challenged and such, but this is going to be a challenge to just make it through this class and another 5 credits that I have. Back in the day, Faye, did you say something that we should say something about workout exercise, or if it should
Like I just said, if you work out the home. But that being said, I am a certified personal trainer, and I do work out all the time. I teach exercise classes throughout the week besides. So we could talk about workout. I could run you through a routine, but yeah, no, I'm meant to work outside the home. So if we've got anyone who's
Well, if I would last except that I had a fitness center back in the 1980s. I originally went to school 40 years ago for physical ed and health. My goal, well, in high school, I was kind of a male jock, and then I managed to flunk out UW lacrosse pretty fast, and so I really do like school and education and such, and I had a fitness center for about 7 years and then crashed that, went bankrupt. I've run a number of marathons. Last summer I did a lot of biking, and now I've got arthritis and a bad back, and I was up last night at 2:30 in the morning with pain, and I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to graduation, but I'm going to persist and get through it all, and I'm going to shut up now.
Okay, here's a little tidbit. You might find this as an extra credit on an exam. Okay, so this might be an extra credit. I met my husband at a health club. Right? I met my husband at a health club. That's where we met. Was at a health club here in Green Bay, and so that might come back as an extra credit. All right, let's move on to place and promotion, and then we'll come back and get you guys that we haven't gotten to yet. So again, think of place as the supply chain or the logistical chain, right? So how do we get the product to the right customer, right? So if we're looking at water, where would we find it in the store, right? So you're going into a store, where do you find water? Beverage aisle. But where else would you find water? Yeah, typically near the checkout. So where else might you find water? Yeah. Checkout line, front of the store. Yeah, kind of thinking more. Where else do you find water? Have you ever gone to like the deli section? Oh, the bubbler, very good. Yeah, like have you ever gone to like the deli section, like where they have sandwiches or ready-made meals, and then there's water there as well? Oh, the baby aisle? Yeah. I wasn't even thinking of that, but you're right. They've got gallons of water near the baby aisle. and also sometimes near the cleaning aisle. They have distilled water near cleaning. Yeah, I didn't even think of those. So yeah, the food area. So why they're in different places, right? Because the manufacturer has to pay for slotting fees in most retail stores, right? So if I am Dasani water, I'm going to pay for my area in the beverage aisle, but then if I want it to be placed near the deli, I'm going to pay again. And if I want it to be placed in the baby aisle, I'm going to pay again, right? So those decisions of where I want to be in the store is part of the place part of our marketing mix, because we want to be in the right place at the right time to provide value for the target market. Okay, so I'm going to move on to promotion. Okay, so promotions, that think of it as that communication. So the goal of promotion is to inform, persuade, remind, right? So whatever comes across in terms of a commercial, a YouTube video, print advertising, mailers, general public, PR releases, all of that should be with the context of what are we trying to communicate to the general market. So what I'd like you to do, now if you have downloaded this, so you see the box with the arrow that's pointing down in the right side, kind of like right over there on your screen. If you click that, that downloads the PowerPoint. If you download the PowerPoint, then you should be able to click on this video that's right here. Now, when I play the video to all of us, it is really kind of freaky because we get some reverberation. So what I would like you to do is have you guys open up a tab, and then I'm going to give you like 2 minutes and for you to watch this YouTube video on your own, and then I'll start talking again. So is everyone able to get, if you're not able to get, that's not what I want. Let's see, can I get that? I cannot. Is everyone able to get that YouTube, to cut and paste that YouTube link? Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. Chong's got the link. All right. So if you aren't able to do that, Chong has it for you there. You can cut and paste it from there. So it's a 1 minute, 11 seconds. So go ahead and listen to that. I'm going to shut the audio off, and then in 2 minutes, I'll come back. All right, 2 minutes, you've got to watch it. All right, I put up a copy of a poll, and I will use polls quite often because we'll be doing a lot of, going and looking at a video, coming back, maybe doing a little research, coming back. And this is just a way for me to kind of connect with you and see that everyone's back or who's not back, perhaps. So, yep, good. So, Robin and Timothy, do you see the poll? Sometimes I get students who, for whatever reason, it doesn't show up in the middle of their screen. Yeah. All right, Robin, okay, excellent. And then Timothy. Actually, I'm kind of glad we do that sometimes because I didn't see Timothy come on, so I didn't have him marked down as attending. All right. Timothy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. All right, perfect. I just wanted, now do you see in the middle of your screen a little poll that says click yes when finished?
Yes.
Is that showing? Okay, I just want to make sure because sometimes students don't see it. So I just wanted, I'll be using polls like this fairly often. So that way we can all connect and then I'm not wasting any time, right? So when we're all back, we can get moving. Okay, so, right, that is a YouTube video from Ford. So who do you think Ford was trying to reach there? Who do you think the target market is? Who do you think they're trying to communicate with? Families? Okay. Why do you say that? Why are you pretty definitive in your answer? Yeah, because that's what they were showing, right? I mean, this is the Sanchez family, right? So they're showing a family and is it just, yeah, so you're right. So everything that happens in terms of like a communication like this, everything is planned, scripted to appeal to the target market. Right, so there's nothing random that happens down to the ice cream cone being in a waffle cone instead of a cake cone, right? It is all planned and analyzed, to the nth, right? So the target market, right? So now they did this same commercial with not families, with like a similar, very similar type commercial, with a single person that is out there and, trail riding with their Ford truck out in the mountains, right? Another similar type, promotion that is dealing with like an older like couple that doesn't have kids anymore, like empty nesters, right? So target market for this ad would tend to be families, those who might not have young children. Did you find any value or information in what they were doing, in what it was saying, or did you just take a look at it and say, yeah, this only appeals to families? And some of the features, yeah, I mean, I think sometimes, if you're able to look past the kids, you're like, okay, well, you know what? This is towing a camper. I tow a camper. Wow, this has some great features in terms of, okay, they're filling up, fun toys for the beach, but that means I could be filling up my inflatable kayak or whatever. Yeah, so it's not like it's only strictly, you're right, Angel, kind of that adventurous thought. So yes, it's showing a family, but it's also bringing in other features. So with the activities being shown, right? But again, one of the beautiful things of like YouTube and videos like that is we can really tailor ads directly, like I said, in this case for families or for singles who like to go out and do a bunch of adventure trips, or those who really like boating, or those who really like off-roading or whatever it might be. Yeah, yeah, it's Bluetooth. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They need, and it could have been interesting with the Blue Cruise because they could have had like the mom like pitching snacks back to the young kids too, you know, throwing fishy crackers or whatever. In marketing, what we're going to do is what we call segment a market. And what that means is we are going to take segments that have similar characteristics or trait. So we might segment a market by age, right? So that's where we get some of our age segments where we have our, you know, our baby boomers, our millennials, our alpha X and alpha Z. And, you know, we've got all of these different age segments. And we do that because there's certain things that you experience when you're all together in age. You have perceptions based on the world, based on age, because you've experienced things similar in the external environment. We can segment by gender, by income, by hobbies. There's a gazillion ways to segment a market. We're going to look at the big ones, but that's kind of our foundation to help us to determine who that target is, right? So again, Ford will target the segments that they believe find value in their product based on that value proposition. Okay, so coming back to that product though, right, and how all of this works together, right? So if we're looking at that Ford truck and we're someone who camps, in product terms, what features does the truck provide to make camping possible or easier? Any of you remember some of the features that they were showing that might make camping easier? Yeah, the power outlets, backup assist, even having that little moon thingy bob or whatever. Yeah, you know, where it's kind of like, okay, I'm out there camping. Those are product, right? We're adding product value through some of those adaptations, again, to reach that target market. Remember I circled value, right? Everything will come back to, again, that value proponent. So how are we going to add value, right? Part of how we decide about adding value is through marketing analytics. We can get marketing analytics through a lot of the social and mobile marketing. And then all of that leads to ethical and social dilemmas, right? Because now we're getting into how we're getting some of this marketing data and the ethics involved. Okay, so let's look at marketing analytics. And then we will take and do a quick little, you know, another five students introduction. We'll come back. We're going to look at a couple more videos when we look at, again, how we're segmenting, how we're targeting, and then we'll start to wrap things up. So this is an example of marketing analytics, right? So I'm going to have you open up again. So here is going to be another ad. That is the Ford summer sales event, right? So we're going to look at that market again, and then we're going to come back, going to look through some of these analytics, and then we'll move on to our introductions. So take a look at this new ad. Again, similar, it's part of their summer sales event. And let's just look at how different or how similar it is. So open up a tab. I'm going to turn off my audio. We'll take a minute and a half to watch this. It does not work for you? Hold on a minute. Let me see. Oh, what the heck? It's not working for me either. And I just did it 2 weeks ago, so it's not a bad link. All right. All right. It wasn't that important. It was just like another version. Yeah, exactly. They're just messing with me today. Yeah, mine says the page no longer exists. And literally, let's see, I retrieved it on the 8th. So it's not like it's an old link. It's only 3 weeks old. So less than 3 weeks old. But okay. we'll deal with what we deal. All right, is an example of how a firm uses marketing analytics, right? So this company that ran this ad, iSpot, is a marketing firm. So they'll do marketing, but then they will also have all of these metrics, right? So how many times is it nationally aired? How many people have clicked on it and then out right away, right? So how is the clicks? Is it a soft click or a long click? Is it a fast, are they on and off? Are they actually watching the whole thing? All of this is marketing measurements that are used to really kind of determine how we're going to communicate. All right, let's go back to some of our introductions. So let's see, Crystal, do you want to start us off? You're the next on the list.
Sure, I can do that.
Perfect.
So I am a junior. I transferred from UW Green Bay to Lakeland and then got COVID and took a trimester off, and now I'm back at it. I only take 2 classes at a time, so I'm expected to graduate in fall of 2024. I currently do work. I have my own business where I help the elderly stay in their home so that they don't have to go to a nursing home or they're rehabbing, before they come back home, things like that. And I also work for the Aviation Heritage Center of Wisconsin. I just got through my internship through Lakeland during the summer term. And so now I am hired there as the event coordinator for them because they rent out different areas and have different events there.
So where is the Aviation Heritage Center? I never heard
It
of it.
is located at the Sheboygan County Airport.
Oh, okay.
It is a little museum right next to it where they always have the Wings and Wheels event where everybody comes and eats their pancake breakfast on Father's Day. Everybody remembers it for that, but they don't remember that it's a museum preserving, aviation history and how Sheboygan Airport is a rare airport for the small area that we are.
Awesome. All right. Great. Thank you. All right. Now, am I pronouncing this correctly? Is it Ian?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry,
You're
but don't mind the guitar music. That's my sister.
No problem.
All right. My name is Ian Betting. I am a sophomore here at Lakeland. I came to the class today because I want to know a little bit more about the economic side of the degree that I'm going for, and that is food safety and quality. I am currently not working for the. I am currently not working for the semester, but in the summers and during winter break, I will be working for Johnsonville.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I did my, so as part of when I did my bachelor's at Concordia, at the time, in order to graduate, you had to do a senior thesis as part of the graduation fulfillment. And my paper was on employee empowerment at Johnsonville Sausage. And that was way back in like 1990. So yes, I'm familiar with Johnsonville due to that paper. So yeah, great place to work.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. All right, thank you. And let's see, let's do, we'll go Haley, Heather, and Jade, and then we'll cut it off there. Haley.
All right, my name is Haley. I am a full-time freshman. I work full-time at Michaels Corporation in the drug and alcohol department.
Okay. Michael's the construction or Michael's the retail?
The construction pipeline,
Okay.
all that.
Yep, got it. All right. About how far, is this like your first semester freshman or?
Yeah.
Okay, first semester through, all right. So let me know if you have any questions on how to navigate through Blackboard or anything like that. So yeah, if you have any questions on that, we can always meet early and I can walk you through some of the navigation components of Blackboard if you have any questions. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. All right, Heather.
Hi, my name is Heather. I'm in my second year at Lakeland, going for my business administration bachelor's degree. I also have an associate's degree from Fox Valley Tech, and I'm just taking 2 classes at a time, so it's going to take a little bit. And I work full-time in the finance department at J.J. Keller in Neenah. And I work remotely, so that's very nice. And then I also have 2 teenage boys that will be returning to school as well.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks. All right, let's end this session with Jade.
Hey, so I am Jade. I am in the psychology program, working my way towards a bachelor's. I, again, like most everyone else here, do 2 classes a term, so non-traditional kind of track, but I am in the home stretch and should be graduating summer of 24. And then I work at a technical college, Northwood Technical College, over on the western side of the state. I actually just got a new position at the start of this week or last week as the student life coordinator / student services assistant, taking on some new roles, responsibilities, get to do the marketing now and all that jazz for student events, and it'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. All right, let's go back, finish up our lecture, and then we'll finish out with Nicole, Robin, Scott, and Timothy. All right, so you guys know this, right? Social media, mobile marketing, big deal as far as marketing now. I mean, no matter what type of business you are, you almost have to have some type of social media or online presence. And when hopefully we have all of that working together, that's called omni-channel marketing. And so we just want to make sure that everything kind of works together. So if we're putting an ad out there, we have the availability to download or to contact us or to order online. So again, we'll go into a lot more detail on that as we go. All right, can you guys open this ad, this Perrier ad, so this YouTube video? Let's take a look at it. It's a fast kind of ad. Are you guys able to open that? Okay. All right. I'm going to give you a minute or so to just quick take a look at that. And again, I want you to have that same thought process. Who are they trying to target? What are they saying to try to communicate value? And then what elements of interest are or elements are used to create interest? All right. So a minute. Take a quick look. All right, now what I'd like you, can someone drop the link for Caroline? Sorry, I didn't see that post. Okay. All right, so this is only a quick 15-second, so I would like you to actually watch it a couple of times. So I'm gonna give you like a full 2 minutes Thank you, Timothy. 2 minutes. So at 7:17, right? So if you do need to take a quick little break, you've got 2 minutes. All right. Fast, right? Did any of you happen to notice how many subscribers they have? How many subscribers do they have? Yeah. All right. Okay, let's talk about the ad, right? Quick. Who do you think they're trying to target just based on that ad? If you had to, women? Yeah, adult women. Oh, very good point. You're right, sophistication. Did any of you read the comments as part of the ad? Some of the comments that were there? I mean, if you take like kind of like 30 seconds to just peruse a few of them, and some of them are hilarious. Yeah. All right. Now, yeah, I think, and that's on purpose, right? I mean, just the way that it's kind of. Now, why do you think they use the color green? Yeah. Why do you think they use the color green? It pops. Okay. So it's hard to catch, but the lime flavor. Yes. Yep, they're pushing the lime flavor. So again, it's kind of that, I mean, and even if you look at the background with kind of that glass dome, there's that greenish tint. Again, nothing is not, everything is thought out, right? Everything is planned. It's very specific, right? So in this case now they've got, they've got audio going on. Now, if you had to suggest an improvement to this ad, what would you think? What might be a suggestion for an improvement? Oh, to actually be more outspoken in terms of, yeah, lime, actually be more definitive as to what it's actually trying to do. Yeah, maybe make things, yeah. Yes, now, whoever is doing this, I don't know, I didn't look into the ad company, right? They're getting paid a tremendous amount of value. But yeah, 15 seconds goes fast. And apparently they have, a fairly strong following. So, yeah. All right, we have one more, and I think this'll. We have one, actually, yeah, just one more that we're going to watch. One more video to watch. Can someone also do the link for Caroline if you can't click through it? But let's watch this ad and let's talk about it. It's way different in terms of from our water ad. So let's take a couple of minutes. Thank you, Angel. Okay, excellent, perfect. Night's a success if we've learned something new. All right, go ahead and watch this. Maybe watch it a couple of times because it's going to catch some nuances, and then we will return. All right, so a couple of times through. Okay, I forgot I had my audio off, so here I'm asking you questions. I'm like, oh, can no one answer me? All right. Okay, my audio's back on. I forgot to click it on. Have any of you had experience with this product before? Yes, Jade.
So I'll just loop my observations in on this too. I didn't want to type them out.
Yeah.
I've noticed as well in this that they have a higher subscriber count. I believe it was a higher view count, and the comments on the video are more engaging. You know, the other ones seemed like people just poking fun at the brand, and I think that might be, you know, Perrier it's an established brand. You know, it's the fancy water, and I recall Liquid Death when they were first kind of getting on. You know, I got Facebook ads for it. And I was like, what the heck is that? I'm like, oh, it's water. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. And now I see it like at Walmart, and I'm like, oh, it's more than just you know, order it online. It's a fun little, you know, they're poking fun at stuff and doing that guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, it is a totally different marketing viewpoint. And again, it's a totally different market. Like, I've seen it in the store. Again, I'm fairly frugal, so I will never pay $2 for a can of water. It's not going to happen for me. But when I talk to my 21-year-old son, who's 21, so he has a totally different viewpoint of things than I do. And he's like, yes, but it's in cans. Cans can be recycled. And, you know, their marketing is just really kind of edgy. And I'm like, okay, so I'm looking at this YouTube video, and I think there was a comment on it like, all of the moms having heart attacks, because that would be me. I'm like, really? I don't, I'm like, yeah, not at all interested in seeing these kids acting like they're, drunk. But anyway, yeah, lawless, rowdy. So I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're right. It is targeting, it's kind of got that rebellious feel. But in essence, what their message is, if you go a little deeper into the companies, they're trying to be a socially responsible and an environmentally responsible brand. And then their marketing is just totally the opposite of that. I find it to be kind of interesting to study, because it's so far on different spectrums. It does have, I mean, if we had a ton of time, we could go through some of the comments, and it's like, wow, you're right. These guys are engaged. They're like really analyzing the thought and the process and the artistic content that went into this. However, it all comes back to, are they going to sell more product, right? Because that really is what marketing is, right? You can have all the cute commercials, or, the artistic commercials or the rebellious commercials, but if it's not going to resonate with the target market and to get them to actually buy the product, it's not going to be, a strong and productive marketing campaign either. So what elements did they use to draw our attention? So even if you, like, what was your attention drawn to? Okay, so here's your homework, Jade. Let us know if it tastes any different than any other water, if it was worth the $2 or $2.50. Yeah. Yeah, it was very, again, kind of that rebellious feel, where it's, yeah, the end had that kind of like that spurred ending, that calm ending. Oh, that is interesting. You're right, that it was caffeinated, because it is, everyone seems so, okay. All right. I don't want to hold you here too much longer, because I know it's already been an hour and a half. Apparently I've been chatty today. So we're not going to do this next part. I'm going to try to wrap this up for you so you can get to your homework and then have a nice weekend. So yeah. Yeah, if my kids ever did that, I would flip. So, right, so this is just, yeah, right, we've just seen a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of latitude within YouTube in terms of what you can produce out there. And this is just an example of how we're getting to see more of the social component to it, where YouTube's, kind of stepping in and providing some boundaries that's happening, right? When we talk about marketing, most of the time we'll talk about that target market, but I do want you to know that when we're looking at the external environment, we're looking at more than just the market. We're looking at all stakeholders, the supply chain, employees, society, where we're getting things from, where we're selling it to, that entire thing. So marketing, we want to be in touch with all of that. We want to do the right thing for all of our components. Okay, so stakeholders, much broader. At the end of some of our lectures, I just kind of like to have a little, check what was kind of important, definition of marketing. Marketing is about satisfying needs and wants, right? Needs and wants. What are the 4 components of the marketing mix? Okay, what are our 4 Ps? Who can give us our 4 Ps? What's one of our 4 Ps? Product, price, promotion, place. Product, price, promotion, place. Yes. All right. When we looked at our points of value, right? Points of value. Okay. There are 4 activities that we can do. right? 4 activities is part of our value proposition. Adding value, that's slide 14. Okay, so number 4, slide 14, we add value, we use marketing analytics, social mobile, and then ethical and societal viewpoints. Okay. Number 5 is kind of open-ended, right? YouTube, we connect Instagram, we connect via Twitter, we connect via our own personalized apps, right? There's many ways that we connect with customers using social and mobile. All right, what the heck is this? All right, this is your homework, answering these questions, right? So answer the questions, submit it up into homework, and that is it, right? That's all you have for homework for this week. And then next week, we will hit the ground running. Okay? Do any of you guys have questions for me? We've gone for an hour and a half with no break. Okay, here's the deal. If you do not have a question, you can log off. Good night. Have a nice long weekend. Email me if you have questions. You do not need to post. You guys are good to go. You were here the entire time that I lectured. You are good. Full attendance is marked for you guys that were here. All right. And online students, if you are listening to the lecture, right, and listening to the lecture, keyword number 1 and 2 are together today because I didn't separate them. So keyword number 1 is labor, as in Labor Day, and keyword number 2 is health club, and that's where I met my husband, was at a health club. All right, done. Thank you. Have a great long weekend as well.